Whether you're in North or South Carolina or anywhere else in the world, enter the Cat Cave with D. White and Shannon Smith, a part of the Keep Pounding Podcast Network, powered by the Fans First Sports Network, where you can find shows such as Winning the Division and Inside the Vault. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. We are back in the Cat Cave right now, and we will be talking about this past game that we witnessed this past weekend and into the game that's going to be happening actually tonight. So, of course, with you right now is Shannon Smith, aka Podcast Smitty, representing Western North Carolina, and the beast from the Northeast North Carolina, D. White. Look like he's chilling right now. My brother, how you doing?
Pretty good, man. I'm embodying that two states, one team, chilling in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, enjoying it. Ready for this final preseason game today. We're going to see how it goes.
Now that's what I'm talking about. So, of course, this past weekend, the Carolina Panthers took on the Houston Texans. Came up short in the game on Saturday. We'll be discussing that. Then we'll be discussing tonight, which will be against the Pittsburgh Steelers. And no, Aaron Rodgers is not going to be playing tonight. So get that out of your heads, which I'm pretty sure no one thought that was going to happen. Our starters won't be playing tonight. We'll be discussing all that. But first, D, let's go ahead and talk about this Houston Texans game. You know, Carolina came up short in the game. Everybody, may I remind you, second week of preseason, everybody chill, because there's more where that came from. So, D, we're going to look at both sides of the ball, offense and defense. Of course, I know you've got some analysis, my man. So we'll go ahead and start with the offensive side of the ball. What were some things that you actually were okay with? What did you like that you saw on the offensive side of the
ball? ETN had a nice bounce back game. He showed that the first week was kind of a rookie thing, basically. Bryson Tremaine showed that he's ready for a spot. It's gonna be tough to cut him or stash him on the practice squad. Other than that, man, it was some good plays. It was some decent plays, but offensively, those were my top two.
All right. So the running game actually showed up a little bit in this game. Line looked like they were playing well. Saw some good production from the offensive line. One of the things that I did like in this game here was the line. Was how the line was holding up the running game. I like the way Etienne played. I think he'll be fine in this scheme, the zone blocking that Carolina has got going on, and that's instrumental. We saw less of the starters in this game, saw a little less of the starters in this game, which as they should, because, you know, we're getting into the rhythm of things. We're getting into season form. So, of course, you're going to see a little less of the starters. Now, what I saw from Bryce, one of the things that I looked at, I saw from Bryce, you know, the giveaway play where he just threw the ball and the ball was intercepted, you know, saw the penalty downfield. I didn't really see that as a bad tendency. Not really. But when you're at the quarterback position, of course, eyes are going to be on you. I saw some things where there was some looking at Bryce's play like it wasn't that good. And so we go through this through the preseason. We go through this. We're just seeing the team for the first time in months. You're going to get critiques. What did you think about Bryce's play overall?
I think overall for Bryce, you could see that he had more command over it, but it was still like a timing issue with some of these players. And granted, I mean, Xavier's coming back, second year, improved. First year with T-Mac. I mean, You would think that maybe the timing would be a little better than it has been, but overall, I'm not mad at them for it. Like again, it is preseason. They were playing a pretty good defense from last year. I'm not wholeheartedly mad about it. He showed enough that he didn't throw any interceptions. That one play you mentioned, he had a free play. He tried to get it downfield. I'm not mad at him trying to move the ball. I'm more upset with uh, players not coming down with the ball or anything like that. But Bryce showed enough that it's like it shouldn't be a concern just having a bad preseason game. He only played like 7 snaps, so I'm good.
Good. Yeah, because I agree the same way. I think that the receivers had a little bit of a rough day at the office.
Mhm.
Our first guys had a rough day in the office. You got to catch those passes. That's what they pay you the money for. They pay you a good bit of money to make those catches, and you got to come down with them. It was a timing issue to me. I felt like I didn't think Bryce looked bad at all out there. Of course, we've got live practice. Everything's live now. Pads are on. We've got full speed football going on right now. So, of course, you're going to have to work out some kinks. You're going to have to. All in all, with me, what I was a little disappointed in was the receiver play. And that to me was something that I was disappointed in. But, it's a week by week thing. And employing all of this into the offense is going to be a process. You've got newer guys, a newer look offense in the receiving core as well. You got a second year quarterback, like second year in the scheme, third year overall, second year into a scheme. When you're employing a scheme, it's going to take some time when you're employing things because you're going to know what tendencies you have. You're going to have to find out what tendencies you have on offense, what the defense is going to give you. And that Houston defense was very stingy. They're a stingy defense. So, of course, you're going to have a little bit more opposition on the defensive side of the ball. Now, since we're talking defense, we're going to shift it to the defensive side of the ball. One of the things that I had a problem with on Carolina's side, on the side of the defense, was the coverage. There were some things in coverage that I didn't like. There was in the safety position, once again, newer guys. You're going to have some growing pains in that defense. It was, with when you have CJ Stroud out there and his offense is back on top of that, too. Nico is back. He's got some of his receivers from last year that made significant steps. Injuries happen. They're back into the fold. So they're playing a pretty tough offense. So there was some slips in the coverage that I didn't like. But other than that, defensively, what did you see?
Defensively, it wasn't all bad. Our starters played; they looked pretty good. We got them out pretty quickly. Um, of course, everybody is going to be like, we want to see more from the starters, give them more reps. But preseason, I've said this before the first game. This is to see the middle and the end of the bench to see how those guys react, see how they respond. So I'm not too mad about it. I mean, some of the same people stood out from our starters. They showed enough. They didn't let the Texans march them down the field and just get embarrassed. Corey Thornton, he showed up again. It was mostly our depth. Our depth is the one that once we took the starters out, we were trying to see who can step up, and we just didn't have the players that could do it. I mean, our middle linebackers, our defensive line depth, our defensive back depth was just really tested from a good Texans team. I mean, it's already hard enough to play the Texans when they're firing on all cylinders. They went back to offense that they were playing before they got Stephon Diggs. That was a playoff team. So, I mean, to play these guys with your second, third, maybe fourth string players, I mean, you know what's going to happen. they're gonna take command. And if you don't have those starters, those hard-nosed veterans, those good professionals that other teams game plan against, you're gonna have a bad day. So I mean, it is what it is. I'm not mad at the starters. It just showed more depth issues.
Definitely understand that. You had a quarterback out there in Houston, Davis Mills, although he doesn't get the starts that CJ Stroud gets. Davis is a pretty good backup. They looked at the future through him, but the future is not through Davis Mills, of course. So CJ Stroud assumed that position, and Davis Mills is out there. He's seen defenses out there, and there were some plays that he didn't make on offense as well too, that where our defense capitalized as well too. I do like the fact that this defense will get after it. I like what I saw out of the starters. I like what was seen out of the second team. Now that's where Carolina's going to have a little bit of trouble is the depth. Of course, injuries will happen in football. You're going to have guys get hurt, but granted, nothing too major. Hopefully not this year. So depth is going to be an issue. Saw a little good out of the special teams. The kicking game. Not bad. Of course, the kicking game is going to bail your offense out in certain aspects. You can't get 6. You're going to settle for the 3. The kicking game looked pretty good. Placement of the balls, well, to field position was something that I was good with. We had some decent field position on plays with the defense. The kicking game, the coverage game was really, really good. But I'm with you on that one. I'm liking Corey Thornton more and more I see him play. And I'm liking what I'm seeing out of him, the being there on the football, the coverage end. He's a pest. And I like that. Out of a corner, I like a pesky corner, and he's a pest. So he was playing that coverage very well. That zone coverage was really good. He was playing man-to-man as well. He was in the face. I like how that is I like a hard-nosed aspect, and he has that. He wants to spot on this squad, and I believe he will get it. So with all that being said, roster spots being talked about as well, do you think that now is the time to start making cuts as we go into tonight's game?
I feel like now is where you play the guys more that you want to see. You already got an idea of who's not going to make it by week 3 of preseason. Corey Thornton has been a bright spot against most of the offenses we played in the joint practices. He's shown out in the regular practices. He's shown out. You kind of expect, all right, we know what we got from him. We want more. We want to see what he can do, but we still want to give the other guys a chance to, see what they can. Let's see if we can get some late trades going on. Somebody might want these guys. Princely Umamiel, and he had a great game. So you know what you got from him. You know what you got from Scorton, who we missed in this game. You could tell we missed him. And it's like we know the guys that we want. We have some sort of depth. It's not like excuse me. It's not like we got the first string and then it's what we're gonna do here. We got some guys. It's just that they're young, or unfortunately, Scorton was hurt.
Mm-hmm.
So we're trying to look for the guys that can step up, that can take advantage, like Jalen Coker did last year. We got guys that was hurt. All right, we got some promise in him. Let's see if he can step up, and he did, and that's what we're looking for in preseason. So with some of these guys, you already know they're not going to make the team. A lot of these guys, we're cutting from 90 to 53. We have a big idea of who's not going to be on this team. That's not a secret. It's just hidden gem. Trade some of these guys, get somebody from another team, because we see for the most part what the Carolina Panthers is going to be, and it's a hit you in the mouth. don't give up, tough team. So, what about you? What are you looking for? What do you think?
One of the things that I'm really interested and intrigued about is this wide receiver room still.
Mhm.
Will they hold on to everyone? Who will they get rid of? Because the receiver room still to me is still the thing that I'm looking at the most.
Yeah.
Because the fact that Carolina has wiggle room in the receiver room, knowing that they already know their core guys. They do. They know their core guys, yes. But at the end of the day, also too, there's going to be some other guys that could give them advantages. The running back room is another room that I'm looking at because there's so much promise in that running back room. You know, you start with Chuba, you go with Rico, and then you've got Etienne in there. So I'm looking at that room. The offense is what I'm looking at. I'm not necessarily saying that the defense is not what I'm looking at either, but the thing about it is that I would like to see, and I think you agree with me on this one, is manufacturing points, being competitive in the offense, being able to compete with these offenses that put up points. I like defense as much as the next guy. I do. However, points has been something that has been lacking on this Carolina team. Being able to score, being able to get down the field, being able to have a downfield threat,
Yeah.
being able to not settle for three, not having to leave it to your kicking game. That is something that I want to see Carolina do is actually manufacture points. We got a little spoiled, back in a few years. We seen Cam and them put up points, and that time needs to come back. But also too, making stops on the defense in the passing game definitely, because we've been talking about pass protection. Been talking about defending the pass. I'm sorry, not pass protection, defending the pass. We've been talking about getting the stops in the passing game, getting to the quarterback. That's the main thing with me is getting to the quarterback. If we're able to get in that quarterback's face, we're able to disrupt passes because that quarterback play, getting to the quarterback, and that's why Princely was a guy that was drafted. That's the reason why they went out and made the moves on defense in free agency like they did, is because they looked at this defense and said, we are not getting to the quarterback. And it is going to be ugly if we keep that going. If we're not able to get to the quarterback, if we're not able to do it, we'll be able to disrupt plays because you've got J.C. Horn in the backfield, Mike Jackson in the defensive backfield that can make plays. You've got those guys who can do that, but we got to get into the face of the quarterback. So as far as making cuts right now, this is what this third game is for. This third game is for making the last bit of cuts. Because as I look at this calendar that's to my left, we are within a razor's edge of week one. So tonight, the Pittsburgh Steelers. We got the Pittsburgh Steelers. They're coming. Of course, we've been hearing news all summer about the Pittsburgh Steelers. One guy in particular, Aaron Rodgers, of course, who we will not see tonight. We will see Mason. Maybe we'll see Will Howard in this game. I think he's healthy enough to go in this game. I think he is. But of course, with Pittsburgh predicated to the defense, they got an offense that is a new look. We're looking to make cuts. We're not looking for a football game that is going to be nip and tuck and competitive. We're looking. We're seeing what we have in that depth area, making those final cuts. Guys are looking to get their jobs, looking to earn jobs, might I say. So, with that being said, with it being 0-2 in the preseason, please tell me that you are not reading into that too much, are you?
I'm not reading into it. I mean, obviously, we want to see production. But I mean, it's hard to have production when one, your main play callers aren't calling plays, your starters aren't in, your backup to the starters, most of them aren't in, and it's just, it is what it is. Just, I mean, I I can admit during the game I may have gotten a little frustrated. But I remember two tweets back to back. One was, "Are we just gonna run the ball the whole time?" And then right after that, Jack Plummer threw an interception. I'm like, never. So it's like we got to remember these guys aren't our starters. Is we're seeing what the 25, 26 Carolina Panthers are. Don't look into the record. Don't look into the stats of players that I wouldn't even call them emergency players. It's tryout players. So I'm not looking into it. It's just I just want to see them be competitive.
Good.
That's it.
Good. Because neither am I. When you get on ESPN and you see players that are like accumulating stats in the preseason, when you're seeing Trey Lance, when you're seeing Shador Sanders, you're seeing these guys accumulating stats. We got to remember they're trying to make headlines ahead of the season. They're making headlines. That's what's being going on. When you turn on ESPN, when you turn on CBS, whatever your news outlet is for sports, and you're seeing these stats. These guys, there's not a lot of football being owned right now, number one. There's not a lot of football on, number one. Number two, that's what they get paid to do. They get paid to make those headlines. So when Carolina's not making these headlines right now, when you see it's 0-2 in the preseason, it's okay. It's not bad. Evaluation is the main thing. I'd much rather them go winless in the preseason than winless in the regular season.
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking at there is the regular season. We're looking at that. That's what's going to be going through our minds here when we're playing the Pittsburgh Steelers. Mike Tomlin, a very seasoned coach. Dave Canales with a lot of promise with what he is doing now. Final evaluation for these players. And then the next week, you can focus on win-loss records. You can focus on that. We can now focus on what our team is going to be with 53 men on the field. But last thoughts before we exit here. What are your last thoughts?
Let's see. We might have found our kicker finally. There's hope in the young edge rushers. Bryson Tremaine, Corey Thornton, Trayvon Merrick, Lathan Ransom, ETN. Hopefully we see a little more Jimmy Horn this game. We didn't see much of him last game. Everybody's looking for him, of course. We got young guys, man. We got young guys, and we're in the news about possibly being interested in other players from other teams. Trey Hendrickson, Kyle Duggar. I mean, this is around the time that you would want to see some movement. We're getting rid of guys that won't make the team. We're looking at guys that could be beneficial without mortgage in the future. Hopefully, I mean, it's just enjoy the preseason, enjoy the ride. We don't have that much long into the first game. Just let's enjoy the ride together. Whether they don't score another point in preseason or they go off against the Steelers, let's enjoy it because, like it or not, these are Carolina Panthers, and we're going to support them.
Definitely. So I like that you brought up Trey Hendrickson. I like that you brought that up because my man ready to go out of Cincinnati.
Mm-hmm.
He's ready to go. He's shopping himself around other teams. It just seems like some teams are not seizing their players. They're not seizing these players that are franchise guys. Cincinnati had trouble with the defense last year. And that's one of the guys that you don't pay.
Yeah, I mean, it's like
Dallas.
Cincinnati's just giving up like their defense for their offense. Like
Yes.
that's the only thing they're focused on is their offense, and they're losing people left and right on defense.
Yes. Yes. And that's odd. And that's which I get, getting a once lifetime player like Jamar Chase and then getting T. Higgins onto the field. Joe's got to have guys to throw the ball to. But at the end of the day, if you're paying them, someone is not getting paid.
Yeah.
So it's what you're willing to lose. And Cincinnati could lose Trey Hendrickson. Dallas could lose Mike Parsons. Washington could lose Terry McLaurin. And not gonna lie to you, Trey Hendrickson in the Panthers jersey is very intriguing.
It is.
It is. Terry McLaurin, very intriguing. But we'll see how that goes in free agency around the league. But most importantly, with the Panthers, tonight's game will be with the Pittsburgh Steelers. We'll be seeing our second, third string guys in action. These guys are going to be playing for jobs. And then, ladies and gentlemen, we will be in week 1 of the season. We've waited all summer. Draft is done. Training camp is done. Preseason is about to be done. And the season will begin. Thank you for joining us for today. You may not exit the Cat Cave for more. Make sure you're watching Tobacco Road Sports Radio's YouTube channel along with Fans First Sports Network, powered by Heat Pounder Podcast Network, powered by the Fans First Sports Network. Keep it locked here. We will see you next week, and it'll be the season. Go Panthers.
Keep pounding. Then this is on us to exit.
Oh yeah, Des, he's still recording. Yeah, he's still recording right now, so still keeping this going. We'll go ahead and sign out.
All right, bro. Be safe.
All right, see you.